Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the Kitchener-Waterloo, where everything is wunderbar,
Wunderbar!
Angie.
Woo!
We are so excited to be your parade hosts again for the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade, brought to you by Pillars Fine Foods. I'm Daryl Morris from CTV Kitchener.
And I'm Angie Hill from Bounce 99.5. This parade's an annual tradition here in KW. The streets of KW lined with folks just out and about. Can't wait to see this parade. It's Canada's largest Bavarian festival. And because today is Thanksgiving, it's a day of pause and a day to be grateful for what we have and share it with others if we're able to. It's been a tough year, but I'm sure everybody's going to pull out the stops and do what they can. It's the Uncle Hans Food Drive, and volunteers from the city, Bounce, and Virgin Radio, they're walking the parade route right now, collecting cash and non-perishable food items for the food bank of Waterloo Region. And make sure when you're out and about, say hi to Ray, Michelle, and of course, the big man, the Sarge.
They're all out there.
They
They're
are
walking, collecting food.
And of course, the Uncle Hans Food Drive, sponsored by Grand River Transit, Pillars Fine Foods, Zares, and the Kitchener Rangers Hockey Club.
So as is tradition, Waterloo Regional Police are at the front of the parade. We see them right now on their bikes. And this year, Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest will be stuffing a Grand River Transit bus full of non-perishable food items at the Oktoberfest Stuff a Bus event. This is taking place, Angie, next Saturday, October 14th. Oktoberfest and Zares will be joined by the Kitchener Rangers Hockey Club, as well as those of us from CTV, Bounce, and Virgin Radio. We'll be collecting donations for the Food Bank of Waterloo Region. So again, that is Saturday, October 15th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Zares Power Center on Ottawa Street.
And this is the Kitchener Fire Department Guard, made up of active and retired firefighters. The Kitchener Fire Department has over 220 members. It's been serving the community for more than 100 years. Kind of sounds like my career, Daryl. More than 100 years.
You have been serving KW for a while, Angie.
Say hello to Uncle Hans.
I can see him coming up behind us,
Is he coming?
Angie.
There he is.
You know, he needs some time. He is the star of the show.
He really is. In inflatable form, larger than life, 15 feet tall. And actually, quite honestly, Daryl, when my son was born, he looked like Uncle Hans. Had a giant head.
Big head. They always have big heads. Especially the boys.
The big round face of KW Oktoberfest. He is the official mascot and the ambassador for the festival.
The Uncle Hans Inflatable is sponsored by Shack Shine. When it's time to give your home's exterior a good cleaning, call the professionals at Shack Shine. Our house detailing team cleans windows, gutters, decks, siding, and more. They also offer Christmas light installations. The services are beyond ordinary. They're exceptional. At Shack Shine, they'll make your home twinkle, sparkle, and glow.
I love that idea of having somebody else put up my Christmas lights.
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
Can they also do my Halloween decorations?
Probably, and then it's, you know, all done right.
Yes.
I like that for sure.
My son calls Uncle Hans the guy with the tomato face.
He is a tomato face.
I said, but he's orange.
If you're out and about for the next week and you run into Uncle Hans, he loves to give you the high five, and of course, loves to introduce you to Tante Frida. Hopefully we'll see her later on during this wonderful parade.
She's here somewhere, I think.
She has
usually
to be.
is. Oh, it is windy out here too. I just saw someone lose a hat.
Oh dear.
But you know what though? I really thought from Will's weather forecast this week that it was going to be a lot grayer, a lot rainier. As far as the Thanksgiving Monday goes, this is pretty good.
I feel like it might be the ghost of the Oktoberfest sausage pushing all of the bad weather away and bringing forth some of the sunshine. Time for some music, and we're going to kick things off with the Fergus Pipe Band. This year marks the 96th anniversary of this group.
This band has been active since 1927. It's one of just a handful of pipe bands in Ontario that can claim that distinction. They're wearing the Mackenzie tartan, and this marching band is proudly sponsored by Musselman Excavating.
Don't those bagpipes just sound amazing?
I love it. Welcome back to the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade. And coming up next, the president of Oktoberfest, Alan Cayenne, is in the second year in his term as president. He is no stranger to this festival. He's been a volunteer for 15 years. He's also the youngest president in the history of the organization. Alan's presidential crest includes the Oktoberfest maypole and the words Willkommen an alle, which means, of course, welcome to everyone. And he's being followed by the ambassador of KW Oktoberfest. This year it is Samantha Hild. She's the first person ever to be named ambassador, the evolution, of course, of the Miss Oktoberfest program. Angie, I know that you're very familiar with that program.
Absolutely. We're in the process right now of just selecting a new ambassador, and that ambassador will be announced at the end of this year's festival.
Yeah, this is the first time in the festival's 54-year history that the ambassador is named on the last day of the festival so that they can work throughout the year repping and promoting KW Oktoberfest. She's also a freelance live wedding painter. It's interesting.
Very nice.
Yeah. Have you ever competed in Miss Oktoberfest, Angie?
You know what? I was thinking this year, it might be my year. But since they said you had to be 19 to 29, I was like, meh. The wonderful thing, though, Daryl, about the Oktoberfest ambassador, it is open to both men and women, and it is both to...
Yes.
It's open to everybody.
Everyone, yes.
I love that. Just so inclusive.
Yes. Well, this horse-drawn wagon is carrying the presidents of the region's 5 German clubs as well as their spouses. They're all riding in solidarity. It's a show of support for each other's organizations and activities in the community. So for this year, from the Alpine Club, we have Dietmar Biselli. From Concordia Club, Rob Kerr. Hubertus House is Janet Kunsch. Schwaben Club is Glenn Harold. And from the Transylvania Club, we have Rainey Schmidt.
So nice. And actually, if you want to join us Wednesday night at the Alpine Club, it's So You Think You Can Tons.
Oh, yes.
And all of these clubs will be out showing off what they do best, and that is, of course, the dancing.
I had some fun with the Concordia Enzians one year, and we were doing, you know, the big whip that they have, but I didn't get to tans, and I really want to tans. I'm coming with you.
Okay, absolutely.
You be my partner.
So good. If they could pick old Angie Hill up to make her fly around, it's a good day.
Okay, well, roll out the barrel, not by yourself with this one. Here comes the Mega Keg.
Well, you know, a big guy like Uncle Hans can have a big thirst, and the Mega Keg satisfies. The Mega Keg is proudly sponsored by Erdinger Weizenbier, the official German beer of Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest.
Yes.
And, oh, what do I hear right now? Is this the Oktoberfest alumni band?
Yes, it is.
Oh, the brass band has its roots in the Optimist Drum and Bugle Corps. Today, the 20-piece band is riding on a float.
Of course.
Back in the day, many members, they marched with drum corps during the 60s and the 70s, and they tell us new members are always welcome, no previous experience, and this marching band is proudly presented by Priority Mechanical and Team Vincent.
I don't think they want me with little to no experience on that float.
They could teach you how to play something,
Actually,
the jazz flute.
I have my grandma's accordion, and I really want to learn. I need someone to teach me how to play the accordion.
Oh, that would be good.
Here comes another float, new float for 2023. Say hello. We've been waiting. This is Drumstick, the Thanksgiving turkey.
Oh,
Usually
yes.
turkeys want to lay low at this time of year, but not Drumstick. He's made of foam and plaster, so nobody's eating him. He was hand painted. He got his name through the community naming contest, and this float sponsored by the Turkey Farmers of Ontario.
Accompanying Drumstick is Wishbone, the Ontario turkey mascot, and along with the Weaver family. They're from the Guelph area, and they're among 150 turkey farmers from across Ontario. Turkey farmers of Ontario represent about 150 turkey farmers from across the province. They encourage you to think turkey more often than just the holidays.
That's fair. I love turkey, you know?
All righty. Turkey is always so good. I love it. I mean, eat it all the time. There he is. And we have another float coming up behind us, and this one has some characters you might recognize. So, say hello to Hansel
Yay.
and Gretel. It is the brother and sister featured from that famous fairy tale told by the brothers Grimm. They've met up with a witch who lives in a gingerbread house in the forest, and she's feeding them all kinds of sweet treats. The Hansel and Gretel float, proudly sponsored by Heathwood Homes. Heathwood Homes is a home builder that has built many communities throughout Ontario. Currently, they're building Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Each home is filled with luxury features, even a full finished lower level, although I don't think many of them are made of candy. This one, for more information, you want to go to heathwoodhomes.com.
I'd love a candy home.
Oh, I know.
Okay, time for some more music. This is the Silver Leaves Brass Ensemble. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary season this year.
The Silver Leaves are an offshoot of the Preston Scout House Band. The group's name refers to the silver leaf collar pins the members of the original Scout Band members wore on their uniforms almost 70 years ago. And this marching band, proudly sponsored by Napa Auto Parts.
Here they go. Okay, say hello to Otis the Swan. He
Hello,
is
Otis.
a beautiful 10-foot tall inflatable, no ugly duckling here. Otis made his first appearance in the parade last year, and this isn't the only Otis in the area. There's a resident swan at Kitchener's Victoria Park, also named Otis, and that Otis has a partner named Ophelia. Park visitors are sure to see the pair during visits in the summer. This parade float, proudly sponsored by Jameson Car and Truck Rental.
And who could use another helping of Hans? And here he is again, the mascot of KW Oktoberfest. Uncle Hans is almost as old as the festival itself. He embodies the spirit of Give Me the Kite. Do you practice that one too?
I do.
Have to.
Only for this one day.
Uncle Hans pops up everywhere during the festival, meeting visitors at Oktoberfest events and Festhallen, stopping by schools, hospitals, and nursing homes, bringing good cheer to all. Uncle Hans is proudly sponsored by Hefner Toyota. Hefner has been a sponsor of this festival for many, many years, as well as many other local communities and cultural organizations. Thank you, Hefner Toyota.
Okay. Here are this year's parade grand marshals Mike Farwell and Paul Fixter together. They are the voices of the Kitchener Rangers. Now Farwell, we know him, Angie. We know him well. He started as the color commentator for the team back in 2010 alongside the legendary Don Cameron, later taking over as the main play-by-play announcer.
And Fixter joined the broadcasting booth at the start of the season, but he's no stranger to hockey. Paul was an assistant coach, winning 2 Stanley Cups with the Colorado Avalanche, and he was an assistant general manager of the Kitchener Rangers from 2009 to 2013. And this would be the perfect time for a Toronto Maple Leaf joke, but we're not going to do that here today. And of course, it is the Oktoberfest parade, followed by an 11-foot inflatable player, and looks like he's all business. Other members of the Rangers community walking alongside in support of the team. This is the Kitchener Rangers Hockey Club giving back to the community.
Tax too. What would it be without Tax?
He's
got to be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, good thing they gave Farwell a carriage to ride in. There he is.
He's such
Hello,
a
Mike
princess.
Farwell. Hello, Paul Fixter.
There's my 2 princesses. Hi.
Okay. Okay, Angie, we talked about her. We knew she was here somewhere because if Uncle Hans is around, Tante Frida is never far behind. She's celebrating Oktoberfest in style, and she brought snacks because, you know, what good woman doesn't bring snacks?
I agree with you 100%.
She and her friends are making sure they have plenty of good food for all the visitors to the festival. Tante Frida Live is proudly sponsored by Maluo Blamey. Cute little bun.
Well, you know, Tante was missing for a while. She was kind of missing in action. But I love the fact that she's back to the festival. It's been a couple of years now, so it's really nice to see her. And here comes the ceremonial band of the Waterloo Regional Police Services. It is the only military-style band of its kind right here in Canada, formed in 1977. Serves as a public relations unit, proudly wearing regional police uniforms. And this marching band is sponsored by the region of Waterloo.
The musicians and the color guard are all volunteers from the police service and from the community as well. The band performs in military tattoos and special ceremonial functions, including the Canadian Police Officers Memorial Service, and of course parades, just like the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, so good. Oh, they look nice and warm, Daryl, anyways.
Yeah. But they also don't have mitts.
Yes.
I'm glad to see we're not the only ones who forgot.
Exactly. It is. And I believe coming up behind our Waterloo Regional Police Band, that of course sponsored by the region of Waterloo, Regional Chair Karen Redman, representing the region of Waterloo. She was the first elected chair in 2018, but spent many years in public service, including 11 years as the MP for Kitchener.
Yes, there she is, Chair Redmond. I think those might be her grandkids with her, Angie.
Yes.
And of course, coming up after the regional chair is the Region of Waterloo float. The float is a showcase for the region. Landmarks are highlighted in frames and they're mounted on the float here, each panel depicting something that is uniquely Waterloo region.
Are you ready for some more music?
Oh, I'm always ready for music.
This is the Muskerviren Anglican, and for these musicians they're the real deal. They're from Anglican, Germany. And the players may have changed, but the band's been making music since 1908. Playing for more than 100 years, they have a reputation for entertaining and musical excellence.
We are live at the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade, brought to you by Pillar's Fine Foods. So, Angie, we just saw a band all the way here from Germany.
Yes.
And from Germany to the Germans in the region, we'll have representatives from the area's German clubs next. First up, Concordia Club, the largest of the area's German clubs, representing Germans from all areas of Europe. It can host almost 4,000 festival goers every night.
And you can always see the tent when you're going over the expressway right down on Cortland.
Yes. The Concordia Club's Mardi Gras dancers are performing in their elaborate costumes, known as the home of Oktoberfest. It was founded as a centennial project in 1967 and is just 1 year older than Oktoberfest itself. And here they come.
You hear
this
the
is
cracking
the thing
whips?
I got to do with them.
Oh, yes.
It is harder than it looks.
The cracking whip.
Also, this year, Uncle Hans has adopted a puppy. We met him last year. This is Schnickel Fritz, all decked out in his Bavarian finery, including a jaunty alpine hat.
Jaunty.
I love that. It's just his second appearance in the parade. He was introduced last year. He got his name through a community naming contest, just like the turkey this year.
And Daryl, if you were wondering, Schnickel Fritz,
yes,
the rough translation is little scamp.
I do love that.
Schnickel Fritz is proudly sponsored by Nutrim Pet Foods, crafted in Elmira, Ontario, Canada. Nutrim dog and cat recipes take a solution-based approach to your pet's total well-being, and combining locally sourced, high-quality meats, fruits, and vegetables, your pet is left feeling happy and healthy after every bowl. Nourishing pets for over 30 years, find Nutrim in your local Canadian-owned pet store. This year, Nutrim is sponsoring Oktoberfest in Wilkemenplatz. It's a 2-day dog-friendly Oktoberfest event with pack walks, dog costume contests, and lots more. Oktoberfest programming for your furry friends.
I tried to bring Scout. She was a little bit too ambitious.
Yeah, well, I don't think Eleanor would like it either. She's a little bit kind of, you know, what she is. But we have members of the Alpine Club here, Daryl. Represent members from the Gottschier area of Austria. Their dance groups perform regularly during that festival. The Alpine group is probably best known for its hospitality and apple strudel.
Strudel. There's some German words we know.
Yeah.
Strudel is
Schnitzel, strudel, and apple.
And next up, we have the Schwaben Club. The club started in 1931 as a place to support immigrants of German descent coming from the lands along the Danube River, and they maintain their traditions and hold several cultural celebrations throughout the year. The Schwaben Club also has 4 dance groups with members starting as young as just 4 years old.
So nice.
And several of them are here in the parade today.
It's nice to see, hey everybody, it's so nice to see the culture starting from a young age. They're followed by members of Transylvania Club, and like the other clubs, the dance group not only active during the festival, but also throughout the entire year. The costumes that each of the Transylvania Club dancers is wearing are hand sewn, and in some cases representing years of work.
Yes.
The Transylvania Club was formed in 1951 and continues to celebrate the heritage of these Transylvania Germans in the form of traditional food, music, dance, and clothing.
Okay, up next.
Our pets deserve the very best, so they can be their very best. That's why Nutrim is devoted to delivering the best ingredients through 2 key principles: optimum absorption and optimum combinations. Our holistic approach includes not only healthy ingredients, but how the different components interact and impact the body. Our optimum combinations ingredient pairings complement one another's benefits to take our holistic nutrition to the next level.
And of course, there's Schnickel Fritz.
Yeah.
There he is, in his little lederhosen.
Little scamp. There he is, little scamp.
We also just saw a float go by fit for a princess. The young women on the German Princess float have been chosen to represent each of the 5 German clubs as their ambassadors. Much like Cinderella, these young women are going to the ball in the custom coach. It was built by the volunteers at all 5 of the clubs. So this year we have Miss Alpine, who is Grace Jacklich, Miss Concordia, Stephanie Rich-Tartisch, Lexa Kadlecki is the Miss Hubertus House, Emma Becker is Miss Schwaben, and Miss Transylvania is Grace Meyer.
It's such an honor, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
To be part of that. Oh, Dewey the Lion. Oh, so
Canada's
famous.
most famous float.
Ellen. Yeah, calling out on the Ellen show in 2009 for slouching.
Slouching.
I don't think it was because of that, but
Listen,
you know what?
the parade route is long.
Dewey is an 18-foot inflatable and the mascot of the Lions Club of Kitchener. The Lions Club has been serving the community for over 86 years and have been part of the KW Oktoberfest Parade for 25 years.
Yeah, I sometimes think I need to know who does Dewey's mane. I need some help.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that whole Dewey situation, hasn't there?
Well, here's another part of the parade. This is the Burlington Teen Tour Band. They celebrated 75 years of music on the move last year. Leading the band are drum majors Hannah Marshall and Hayden Hughes. The band was formed in 1947. They have more than 150 members, all between the ages of 13 and 21.
And you know what? In March of 2023, the band traveled to Ireland.
Ooh.
And they competed in St. Patrick's Patrick's Day Parade in Dublin, winning Best Overall Band. Next June, the band will travel to France and take part in ceremonies marking the 80th anniversary of D-Day. The Burlington Teen Tour Band is proudly sponsored by Pillars Fine Foods. Pillars has been a festival sponsor for decades and is the presenting sponsor of today's broadcast. And I do believe coming up is something representing my hometown of Hanover, Ontario, Canada. I was just actually up there yesterday.
Yes, with your
It
mom.
was the whole family
Shout
do.
out to Angie's mom.
Indeed, yeah.
This band is so impressive every year.
Yes.
To wrangle a bunch of teenagers, honestly.
They make it look so easy.
I know. And to have to know to march, to
Yeah.
stop, to start, and remember the notes to play.
There's too much. It's too much.
More talent to them.
So much so. All right, it's big, it's curvy, and it's salty. This is the Snyder's of Hanover giant pretzel. All right, it's a float, and it's a new entry in this year's Oktoberfest parade.
Okay, fun fact. The pretzel was developed 14 centuries ago in southern France by a monk. He designed it to look like a child's arms folded in prayer. They were made from dough left over from baking bread, and it was given as a reward for tasks well done. It became a symbol of excellence. Now, thankfully, anyone can enjoy them at any time. I don't have to be excellent to eat a pretzel.
This tasty new float is proudly sponsored by Snyder's of Hanover. These pretzel bites have been the hits of the Willkommen Plots this year.
Yes, I had some on Friday. They were delicious.
Snyder's of Hanover. I love it. And I think there's a giant celebrity wheeling up behind.
Oh.
Not only my favorite mayor, yours too.
Oh.
Barry Verbanovic. He's been mayor since 2014 and served as a city councilor for 2 decades before that. He leads the City of Kitchener's entry in the parade.
There he is. And behind him is the City of Kitchener float. This year's entry celebrates the pride that Kitchener community members have for their city. The big, bold, vibrant Kitchener letters are representative of Kitchener's big, bold, vibrant ideas. City staff, family, friends, and community members are riding on and walking alongside the float.
And of course, we can't have the City of Kitchener without the City of Waterloo.
Of course.
And we've got Waterloo Mayor Dorothy McCabe. And this is her first time in the parade in her new role. Sorry, I was distracted by Barry Verbanovic.
Hello, Mayor Barry.
And this is the first time for Mayor Dorothy McCabe, elected about a year ago. Mayor McCabe has a long history of service in both politics and community before becoming mayor, and also sings a mean karaoke she does.
Does she?
She does.
Well, why isn't she on this float then singing?
I know.
There she is. Now, the next float recognizes the many contributions of the volunteers. They work year-round on the festival. It does really take an army of volunteers to make the many parts of KW Oktoberfest possible. We've seen many of them down here today as well.
Well, that's right. The 2023 volunteers of the year are Andrea Davidson and Rob Hatch and the late Carl Bruder. Of all the volunteers being honored this year, all have years of service working in various capacities to build and maintain during the festival. Walking with the float are many of the city councillors representing Waterloo.
Yes. And of course, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. We have representing Cambridge Councillor and Acting Mayor Corey Kimson. Every year, the city of Cambridge hosts a free Oktoberfest lunch. It will be on Wednesday, starting at 11:30 in the square in front of City Hall. Of
You
course,
know, when they say there's no free lunch, it's true, there is that day.
well, it's not true then. Here's the volunteers
There
coming
they
by
are.
now.
Volunteers,
Yes.
thank you so much.
There
for
they
your
are.
service.
Oh, here comes the chickens.
Are you ready? Wings up! Time to do the chicken dance.
This group of family and friends come together as chickens to perform the popular dance. And Angie, the dance crept over to North America in the late 1970s as the duck dance.
The duck dance?
This doesn't sound right.
I don't.
A German band decided to play the song at a festival in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1981. Organizers were trying to find a duck costume for the dance, but they could only find a chicken costume. So, of course, the duck dance evolved and became what we know and love now as the chicken dance.
I have never heard that story before.
We have
All right.
an amazing producer who
Flap
loves
your wings.
amazing weird music trivia.
Flap your wings, do that chicken dance. Everybody, shake your
Yeah,
tail feathers.
Oh, here they come. Okay, and this is Moonshine, celebrating the hills and stills of the Ozarks. The band formed 20 years ago. They play the best in live new country, classic rock, and everything in between.
And my buddy, there he is, Fred Bosenberry playing the guitar. I love you. They probably proclaim that if you need an excuse to party, well, they're your band. Moonshine is sure to leave an impression on fans from 1 to 91. Based in nearby Fergus, they have become parade regulars and fan favorites. The Moonshine Float is proudly sponsored by the Uptown Waterloo BIA.
Mary Jane's Last Dance at KW Oktoberfest. It's fitting, you know? Okay, Angie, things are about to... Things are really taking off now, Angie.
Yes.
This Flair Airlines float made its first appearance in the parade last year. It's so big, it cannot be moved in one piece. The wings were attached just this morning at the start of the parade route. The float is accompanied by flight attendants from the Waterloo Region International Airport. I'm always so sad when the bands go all the way by and then they're too far to hear
Oh,
anymore.
I know. But I'm sure there's going to be more coming, Daryl, for
Yes,
sure.
I'm sure.
Oh, Tante Frida is coming up after our Flair Airlines plane. Look at that.
Yeah.
And she's in inflatable form this time.
There she is.
The balloon is massive. Only takes about 30 seconds to inflate.
Of course.
It all
She's
blown
efficient.
up. Right? She's a multitasker because Frida is a woman. Frida stands about 15 feet tall and keeping an eye out for Uncle Hans.
Yes.
Her special guy.
Her special guy. I'm sure she'll catch up to him at the end.
Where were you? Where were you?
Why didn't you want to walk with me? She's so sweet. Look at her.
Oh,
Aw.
Tante Frida.
Somebody get her a jacket, though. It's cold out here,
Yeah.
Angie.
It really is. You know what? I think this float actually had won Best Float a couple years back
Okay.
during this Oktoberfest parade, sponsored by Pillars. It's the pirate ship
Yes.
float, so it's time to walk the plank. All right, so it's fresh from briny deep. These scurvy dogs are sailing the streets of Kitchener, Waterloo, and they're looking for pirate booty. No treasure is safe when these buccaneers set sail. This float, totally designed and built by the volunteers of KW Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Do you know how much they're selling pints of beer for on their float? a buccaneer.
I thought maybe
sorry.
it was free.
Oh, now some of the most popular people during the festival. This is our keg tapping team. They're coming up. They help open the festival. They also bring some energy to the fest halls. Now, I don't know if you were down at Wilkemenplatz Friday and saw Laura Geddes officially tap the official keg.
I missed that.
Oh, it was
I
quite
missed
the
it.
build-up.
Okay.
And she did it. She did it. Now, for as long as there's been an Oktoberfest, there's been a need, of course, to tap a keg.
Mm-hmm. And it's Spank the Spit, right?
Spank that spigot.
Spank that spigot. All right.
Yeah.
On this float, it's a fully functioning keg that helps keep the festivities going. So join the keepers of the keg in a countdown and singing of Ein Prosit.
Don't worry, if you miss it once at the fest hall, you'll hear it again 10 minutes later.
There it is. Can you hear it? Yeah.
There it is. Oh, they're spinning the, what is it, a mallet they use?
Yes.
Yes. And of course they have their mom.
In a country that welcomes everyone, there's one holiday that does too. It's a holiday that's a little humbler. It's a chance to share a meal with family and friends and make some lasting memories. At the center of that meal, Canadian turkey, raised by Canadian farmers like us, on Canadian farms like this one. Put all that together and you have something pretty great. So here's to Canadian Thanksgiving and Canadian turkey.
Welcome back to the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade, brought to you by Pillar's Fine Foods. Now we're getting the boot, Angie. Not
I knew it would happen
literally.
eventually.
This is a tribute to the classic nursery rhyme, The Old Woman in the Shoe, except in this reimagining, the old woman is not dealing with so many children that she doesn't know what to do. In this situation, she's dealing with mischievous gnomes. The old woman, she just can't catch a break.
Mm-hmm.
This parade float proudly sponsored by Premier Equipment Rentals and Premier Farm Equipment.
It's the Rolling Steins. Check out the mug on these guys. Flipping their lids. It's always a crowd favorite, Daryl.
Yes, the lids on German Steins were designed to keep insects out of the beer, but here, strictly for entertainment purposes, this float is a toast to the festival. You know, I once was in Germany, in Munich, and they had the official Oktoberfest beer steins. You could get one from the year you were born.
Okay.
It was a little pricey, a little too much. I was a young 20-something-year-old. I did not have the money.
Well, we all do things like that, don't we?
Yes.
And making their second appearance in the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade, this is Vista Hills Drumline, made up of grade 6, 7, and 8 students from Vista Hills Public School in Waterloo.
Now, this drumline began about 10 years ago. Since then, they've participated in community events and parades throughout the school year. They won Best Band at the 2019 Cambridge Santa Claus Parade. 6, 7, and 8.
I know.
Wow.
And it's pumpkin time, pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice. It's everything pumpkin spice, and it's all here, right at the patch. Many people have already made a trip there to pick up the perfect specimen for their Thanksgiving decor, and some of them will go under the knife to be carved into jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. This parade float is proudly sponsored by the Steel Group.
And here comes Cobbler Jay. He's become a regular in the parade. He lit up the opening ceremony on Friday, Angie.
Oh, yeah?
My child was in shock. He calls himself Canada's most eccentric juggler. He regularly plays with fire, and he defies the laws of gravity with quick hands and a quick wit. He also eats the fire sometimes.
He eats the fire?
Yes, this is why my child was shocked. Cobbler Jay is proudly sponsored by Malua Blamey Construction. Maybe he'll do it for us.
Maybe he
not.
will.
Those ones look a little
He's
big.
got a very cool hat going on there, that fella.
Yes.
Here comes the Wunderwagen,
Yes.
a roving hospitality suite. It can be found cruising around Waterloo Region. Oh, look who's in it.
He's here.
He's here, Uncle Walter. Walter Ostenak, Canada's polka king himself.
Yes, the Oktoberfest Wunderwagen was a pandemic project created in 2021. They were bringing the spirit of Gemütlichkeit to the citizens of KW during the lockdowns. The mobile Oktoberfest stage travels around the community, bringing those sweet, sweet sounds of polka music, Angie, to neighborhoods, retirement homes, and local businesses.
This year, the Wunderwagen appears in the Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade, thanks to a sponsorship by Bavarian Windows and Bavarian Garage Doors.
I told you if you just waited, you'd hear Ein Prosen again.
Ah,
10
there
minutes
it
later.
is. There they are. Uncle Walter, love him.
Yes.
Ah,
They're dancing to him.
and this next float is from the Canadian Union of Public Employees. CUPE is Canada's largest union with more than 280,000 members here in Ontario alone. It represents workers in healthcare, emergency services, education, early learning, and childcare.
And there are a lot of iconic symbols that have come to represent Oktoberfest besides Uncle Hans and Tante Frida. Here's the castle in the sky, and it is an engineering marvel. This 20-foot-high inflatable is a replica of King Ludwig's castle in Bavaria. The Woodhouse Group is pleased to sponsor King Ludwig's castle.
Ice Ice Baby for CUPE, I guess.
Okay, here's King Ludwig's castle.
The balloon castle.
Yes. So of course this is brought to us by the Woodhouse Group.
My fans, Daryl, sorry.
Yes, I know, you're a very popular lady. Okay, so making just their second appearance here at the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade is the award-winning Guelph Collegiate Vocational Institute Marching Band. GCVI has an internationally recognized high school music program. They offer courses in instrumental music, choral music, guitar, and musical theater.
The group regularly entertains audiences across the province at festivals and competitions, and of course, parades. These students are pumped. They've been practicing for weeks to be ready for today. And this marching band, proudly sponsored by Domino's Pizza. Domino's has also been feeding the many hardworking volunteers who help out with this festival, including today's parade.
Angie, just grinning and bearing it. This is the bear float. I mean, you want to talk about a hunched over lion. That's a hunched over bear. He is one of the biggest floats in the parade. Always a big hit, especially, of course, with the kids. And looks like he's getting ready to hibernate, I think.
Yes.
I'm about ready.
That time of year.
This parade float was refurbished in 2022. With the addition of the fish, the float is proudly supported through the funding from the Government of Canada.
Oh, look at that. It's the Waterloo Regional Chinese Canadian Association. 80 representatives of this marching in today's parade. So there are the dancers and drummers playing traditional Yagu waist drum.
And the association's mission includes representing the interests of Waterloo Region's ethnic Chinese community and helping to preserve and promote Chinese culture. Always such beautiful costumes.
Yeah,
on them.
for sure,
Yes.
for sure.
So there's another new float this year. It calls on all of us to think specifically about single-use plastic. The float is crafted by students at Rockway Mennonite Collegiate in Kitchener.
The band is singing modified lyrics to I Hate Myself for Loving You by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. The float reminds us that plastic is forever.
Yes, so the think letters on the side of the float are made of solid steel. They're stuffed with plastic bottles. Shockingly, the letters will biodegrade hundreds of years before the plastic in them will.
Self for loving you. I'm never going to hear that song the same. And by the way, you can hear all that music on Bounce 99.5.
Yes, you can. I also think they just gave me some Halloween costume inspiration.
It's, well, I love that they're giving us something to think about. Rockin' and rollin'.
Oh, it's a... I love this. Okay, the cruiser from the Cambridge detachment of the OPP is coming up next. The OPP are one of North America's largest police services. They have more than 5,800 uniformed officers and 2,600 civilian employees. They provide essential services that ensure the safety and security of the people in Ontario.
I hear those sirens and think I should be running away.
We hear you coming.
Oh, there they go. So glad that they're around us for protection, Daryl.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what.
They're just keeping, traffic in order, too, in the parade route.
Schlangle villages believe elders should be kept at the center of our communities. At the villages, they create places where elders can live a life of meaning and purpose. And this is their float. They say it celebrates 7 decades of community building by bringing together team members, residents, families, and all people to think about what community means to them.
Okay, these people are bookending today's parade. The volunteers accepting donations for the food bank. They're collecting non-perishables and cash donations for the food bank of Waterloo Region.
You know, Daryl, Thanksgiving should really be a time to be thankful for that all we have, but many people in the community are hurting so bad and struggling as we're facing increasing costs for food. Well, for everything, really.
Yes,
Every dollar that is donated will provide 6 meals for people in need.
Yes, so these volunteers will be collecting your donations. Of course, we mentioned Ray Kelly and Michelle Cruz and Sarge are all out there as well. So be sure you say hi to them as they go by.
And these are our friends from 96.7, Chime FM, 106.7, of course, country. You know, it's always good to have other folks in the community helping out.
Yes, absolutely. Well, here is the Tien Gao Marching Band of Canada. It was formed in 2006. Each member is proud to practice not only music, but truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. If music is the universal language, then the Tien Gao Marching Band of Canada brings happiness wherever they perform. This marching band, proudly sponsored by Innova Power Corp. This is their first year in the parade. The float is also accompanied by some Innova employees.
Our pets deserve the very best, so they can be their very best. That's why Nutrim is devoted to delivering the best ingredients through 2 key principles: optimum absorption and optimum combinations. Our holistic approach includes not only healthy ingredients, but how the different components interact and impact the body. Our optimum combinations ingredient pairings complement one another's benefits to take our holistic nutrition to the next level.
Okay, Angie, we've been having so much fun down here this morning at the KW Oktoberfest Thanksgiving Day Parade, brought to you by Pillars Fine Foods. We're already coming close to the end here.
I can't believe it. It's just
Yes.
been so great again this year.
And the weather really cooperated,
Yes.
which was nice. So finally, as always, a tradition at this parade, the Horn of Plenty, also known as a cornucopia. It is a symbol of prosperity, also a reminder of the holiday we are celebrating today with family and friends. A tradition, the Horn of Plenty, the cornucopia. It's a real symbol of Thanksgiving, of both celebrating the day with our family and friends.
You know, it's a time to be grateful for all we have and all we can share with those who are in need. Zehrs Markets are a proud sponsor once again of the Horn of Plenty float. For this year's Zehrs, also proud sponsors of the Uncle Hans food drive.
Yes, don't forget about the Stuff a Bus drive next Saturday, October 14th at Zehrs on Ottawa Street.
That's right, the Laurentian Power Center.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
that was fun, Daryl.
Great time, Angie.
A little
always.
ziggy, a little zaggy, some dancing, marching bands, colorful floats, a healthy serving of Gemütlichkeit. A big thanks to you, Pillar's Fine Foods, presenting sponsors of today's parade broadcast.
You know, you also forgot the oi, oi, oi.
Ah, hi, hi, hi.
But also lots of good deeds. A lot of food and money will be collected today for the Food Bank of Waterloo Region. You still can make your donations online at kwoktoberfest.ca. We hope you enjoyed watching from home. We had so much fun down here. From all of us here, happy Thanksgiving.
Later, Hosen.